Welcome to Chat SDG, the talk show that engages with the world's brightest innovators to unravel the potential innovations that can help in achieving sustainable development goals by 2030. Today's topic, sustainable development goals and water, is a very important theme for all of us across the globe, whether we live in the continent or next to the sea. This episode, remember, is not just a dialogue, it's a call to action. Let's welcome our guest, our very own Dr. Nimrod Israeli. Welcome, Dr. Nimrod. How are you?
Thank you very much, Bhuvan. It's a pleasure and great to be here again with you.
In what ways does water scarcity affect global food security and agriculture, and what are some of the interconnected solutions?
Well, we are going to a warmer and drier global south. We already see it, and probably more damages at the global north from too much rain, too much cold. This is happening as we speak. Sometimes there is too much water, like happened with the floods not long ago in a few countries, not just one. So it's not only water scarcity, it is just coming too much, too little, not in time, and so on. This is the new normal. We should be prepared for it and get ready. It means that at a global scale, every country, every supermarket, and of course the UN must view the entire global population as one, and understanding that at any point we might have not enough food or water at a certain place, and we will have to supply from somewhere else. So water scarcity is one issue out of many. The bottom line is food. It's access to food, access to water, and the ability to survive in harsh times.
And I feel, Dr. Nimrod, that without water, without potable water, there can be no agriculture. Agriculture is synonymous to availability of water, and unless there is availability of water in the mainland, in hinterland, in continental Europe, in India, in Asia, there can be no agriculture. There will be droughts, and the solutions have to be there to provide water surplus in these areas. Yes.
Bhuvan, I want to add something. Look, sometimes what we call water scarcity, let me tell you a story. I was sitting in Africa in a village with villagers, and I asked them about their problems. And they said, we have a problem with water. We don't have enough water. We have here beautiful mango trees. They require water. We don't have water. Now, the place where I was sitting was 2 kilometers away from a river that the width of this river is more than 1 kilometer. It's a huge river. They were sitting 2 kilometers away. There is no water. So sometimes what we call water scarcity is really not that we don't have the water, but we don't have the way of using the water for our benefit, like in this example.
And to use water is critical in a lot of our chores. In fact, all of our chores, whether they are household driven or industry driven or agriculture driven, and availability of clean water is also directly related to health outcomes. Dr. Nimrod, that is my next question to you. How is clean water, in communities important, and what role is it playing in preventing waterborne diseases?
Well, we already know it that in communities where there isn't clean water, populations suffer more from digestion problems, stomach, diarrhea. They die. Many die because of this. Of course, then sometimes there is also free water on the surface, and we get malaria. Again, people dying from malaria in their thousands over 500,000 every year in Africa alone. So of course it is going together those two things. And maybe the next thing should be about how it impacts the equality or the inequality.
The question is, what is the relationship between water management and gender equality, and how does it empower women and girls in various societies?
So I just told you before about this village. I was sitting with a bunch of men, all of the men, by the way, and they complained that there is no water, while the river, a huge river, only 1 kilometer away, but they didn't bring the water. Now this in the same village, the women are going to the well, and the well is like, depending where, but between 15 to 30 minutes away from home. So I saw them next to the well, doing their laundry, taking the water to the house and all of this. It means that they have to invest a lot of their time just going and fetching the water and everything that is related to water. Now, if in this family, the man is in charge of income, the woman is in charge of the household activities, she's got no time for other things. So there is no equality, and there will not be, unless we will have the water faucet in the house, in the farm, like we have in our houses, saving time.
Infrastructure is critical for economic development, and having a faucet in the household or an overhead tank or water storage can help regions facing water challenges. Can you shed some more light on this area, that how can water related infrastructure and sustainable water use contribute to economic development, particularly in regions facing water challenges?
Infrastructure is no question part of it. And in the same village where I was sitting, in the background of that farmhouse, they had many pipes, probably brought by some NGO, and it was just sitting there doing nothing. This is not unusual, because it's not enough that you have the pipes, unless you put it and connect it all the way to the water source, in this case like a river, and then all the way to the house, to the village, to the field. It's not good enough. Furthermore, even if you did it, but you don't have a way to sustain it, and it costs money, like the pump and other things, it's going to go to nowhere. So infrastructure, while it is important, without the means to sustain it based on business, profitable models, it's not going to work.
International collaboration and partnerships are most critical to address trans-border water issues, to ensure equitable access to water resources globally. What are your thoughts on this subject? Your nation also shares a lot of water boundaries, not just on the Mediterranean side, but on the Sea of Galilee side also. So your thoughts are most welcome.
Yes, Israel, 2/3 of Israel is a tiny country. 2/3 of it is a desert. So unless we could overcome such challenges, we won't become successful in agriculture as we are today. So obviously, today there is no point of talking one region or one country facing all the challenges by itself. It must be always thought as a collaboration, international, national, as big as possible. Just like we are now communicating over Zoom, you didn't invented Zoom, not India, not Israel. We use it. It is true about anything, but the people who will benefit, just like you and I are now benefiting, and our listeners, the same in agriculture. Eventually, the farmers will be the main benefiters. But for this, we need a model how to do it, and we still lack that model.
In the coming days, Dr. Nimrod, we will be looking at other aspects, not just related to water, agriculture, equity, but other sustainable development areas also with you. Thank you very much for being part of this conversation. Dear changemakers, viewers, the 21st century isn't just a time period, it's a call to action. You are not mere spectator, you are the protagonist. Please leave your comments and questions below for us to address in the future episodes. Awareness on SDGs is only the first step. Let's take it together by sharing this video. Respect and love for all. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.